Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching TopTenzNet. In the video today, we're looking at the top 10 dark legends of Japan. Just before we get started, I do want to say that this video is made in collaboration with historical researcher Antony Cummins, and we're taking these legends from his new book. The book is called The Dark Side of Japan, and Antony and his team, they've translated old spells, witchcraft, other unknown elements of dark Japanese magic, and combined them with all sorts of folklore tales, and they've put them in this book. It's all from the late 19th century. It's all really good stuff. Gonna have a bit more about this at the end of the video. In the video today, we're going to try and focus on some of the lesser known ones, because we know there's a lot of stuff about Japan and kind of dark Japanese stuff on YouTube, so we're going to focus on some things that we think are a little less known. Number 10. The Animal Kingdom. Dark folklore surrounds the animal kingdom, and in Japan, things can get pretty strange. Foxes have hidden wisdom and deep power, and they can act as protection from dark powers or bring calamity and mischief to an intended victim. When a magical fox reaches 1,000 years old, it can turn silver white and grow 9 tails. Likewise, dogs hold power and can possess entire families, making them outcasts in society. There are many stories about how both foxes and dogs can outwit humans. Or how about the evil badger who killed and chopped up a man's wife? After the badger had killed her, it magically took on the image of the wife and then served him her human flesh. The humble mosquito is thought to be the soul of a human who was evil in life and is cursed to spend their very short life sucking blood from others. Finally, the cat, who was kept on board ships because it was thought that the white crests of the waves were the hands of drowned sailors trying to climb back onto a ship. However, the cry of the cat kept the dead sailors in the depths and allowed the ship to have safe passage. Number 9. The Japanese Medusa. It is said that the real intentions of a lady can be shown by her reflection and shadow. A gentleman who wishes to know the mindset of a woman should watch her reflection in a mirror and see if the beauty he observes in the reflection is actually a hag with writhing snakes for hair. If so, her heart is not pure, and a relationship with her would be catastrophic. Likewise, if two women appear to get on in polite conversation, then do check their shadows. If both shadows display angry snakes in the hair, each trying to bite at each other, then know that the women actually hate each other in truth, even though their conversation is polite. Number 8. Japanese Cursedolls. We all know the now famous movie trope of the voodoo doll, but accounts in Japan show us a type of straw doll used for cursing a person. To make one, create a small straw figure, write the name and age of the target on paper, and insert it into the doll. Next, draw a face on a separate sheet of paper and fix it to the figure. At night, visit a sacred space and find an old tree, then with an iron crown on your head, which holds 3 candles, wait for the hour of the ox. This is similar to our own witching hour, but the time is actually between 1 and 3 a.m. At this time, nail the doll to the old tree, and your curse will manifest itself on your victim. Number 7. Kou Magic. One of the vilest and deadliest types of magic to be found in China and Japan is Kou Magic. A black wizard will collect as many venomous animals as they possibly can: snakes, insects that bite, and any creature that carries poison. They place them all in a closed pot and leave them to starve. The last creature alive in the pot becomes a Kou creature, an animal of extreme and deadly power. The evil magician keeps his Kou creature, and whenever they wish to kill someone, they can bring its enormous power to bear. The creature is run over the food that is to be eaten, so that when the victim eats this food, they will die in fits of coughing and blood. It is even said that whatever food the victim has eaten will become whole and back to life in their stomach, bursting them from the inside. Furthermore, the souls of the victims are then locked and bound to the magician, and they will serve the Kou wizard in the next life. Number 6. The Demon's Gate. Direction and time feature prominently in Japanese folklore and legends. It is said in Japanese tradition that certain directions are the realm of demons and of influential spirits. To counter the effects of these otherworldly entities, the Japanese would protect important sites in various ways, and they would concentrate their protection from that direction. One example was to have an inward-facing corner, so that spirits from that direction would become confused and disorientated by the strange architectural feature. Another way was to construct holy sites at certain points away from the place that is to be protected. You may not know this, but even today, Edo Castle, which is now the palace of the Japanese emperor, is spiritually protected by shrines and temples around modern-day Tokyo, sacred places that have been there for generations and who maintain the spiritual barrier, protecting the royal family for those directions. These protection sites are not close by, and it takes a train ride to get to them, but their function of keeping demons at bay, it still goes on to this day. Number 5. The Magic of Incense. We can all picture beautiful temples in dark green forests in Japan, their dimly lit altars clouded by incense smoke. This smoke has various rituals and properties attached to it. Incense smoke is used near the dead to cleanse the air and deter any malign entities from coming close to the body, so that the soul has a clear pathway to the afterlife and that the body is not corrupted by evil. Incense can also be used to call on the ghosts of the dead. A stick is lit and the magic user calls out for the dead to appear before them, such as a family member or dead lover. The apparition of the ghost will appear in the smoke, but will say that it does not have long and that the connection to this world is short and that it must return to the afterlife. Even so, a brief conversation can be had with a departed loved one. However, the problem with incense sticks is that when they are lit, they do attract incense-eating goblins who hang around bodies and temples trying to get a free feed. Number 4. The River to Hell. The Japanese have their own version of the river Styx, the River to Hell, or sometimes the River to the Underworld or Afterlife. The Japanese version is known as the River of Three Roads and leads souls to where they should go. Those who have been bad in life are led to the afterlife by a blind guide and along the banks of the river. A ginormous old hag steals the clothes of the dead or makes dead children cry. The souls are protected by a Saint Jizo who helps the children find their way and brings them peace. Saint Jizo is a popular image in Japan, and you have probably seen statues of him many times. The Japanese King of Hell is helped by ministers who hold up mirrors so that people's true natures are reflected. This delivers the truth of the way that they led their lives so that they can be assessed. Number 3. The Crying Stone. The wife of a loving soldier was lost without her husband, who was away at war, so she went on the road trying to find her love. Along the road, she was attacked and raped, an assault which resulted in a baby boy. She died in childbirth, and the boy was raised by a holy man. When the child came of age, he tracked down the brute who took his mother and killed him, exacting his revenge. Legend says that at the spot where the rape took place, there is a stone that cries out. It is said that on nights of wind and rain, the stone can be heard crying and wailing into the night. The soul is said to be that of the woman who is lamenting for her love and for her misfortune. Number 2. The Blind Storyteller. There was once a blind storyteller who traveled and played his lute to crowds, singing of old deeds and long-dead samurai. One night, he was telling the tale of an ancient and famous battle to a crowd of eager listeners. Night after night, he came back to the same spot to continue the epic story. However, novice monks brought the old man into a monastery after they had heard him play, and they told him that he had in fact been playing for the ghosts of the very same warriors of the story, and that they were reliving their long-ago battle. In utter fright, the storyteller asked for help, and as night fell, the crowd of hungry dead listeners grew louder outside the monastery walls. The monks covered the storyteller in holy script, drawing all over him from head to foot, all except for his ears. The storyteller was advised to ignore the ghosts, as the magical script would hide him. When he left the holy ground the next night, the ghosts were baying for him to finish the story, but all they could see was a floating lute and a pair of ears, so they tore the ears off his head in anger and returned to their graves. The novice monks had not quite saved all of him from the angry audience, because they forgot to write the magical spells on every part of his body. Number 1. Lovers Reunited. After all that darkness and evil, we'd like to end on a story of love. There was once a young samurai and his wife who were soulmates and truly in love, but the wife became ill and it soon became clear that she was to die. She told her warrior husband that he should wait for her and that she would be reborn and that she would find him again. Then she died in his arms. Years passed, and as a samurai, it was his duty to form an alliance with another family, and he was forced into marriage. After many years, his second wife and his son both died, and again he was alone. One day, he was traveling, and he came across an inn and was served by a younger woman who had come of age. She was so like his first true wife that he asked her questions to find out if it was truly her. When she responded to these inquiries, she took on the ghostly voice of his first wife, told him about their promise and about her coming back to find her true love again. At this time, she fell to the floor unconscious and never remembered the incident. The two were married, and they found true happiness again. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. As I mentioned at the top, this one was written in collaboration with Antony Cummins. He's got a new book called The Dark Side of Japan. This book is packed full of lots of stuff like you heard about in this video. If you're into this sort of stuff, you're really going to love this book. So do go over to the description. You'll find a link there where you can buy this book. Please do check it out, and appreciate Antony for helping us out with this video, and appreciate you for watching.